Thank you everyone for posting done. That's done it already. And I just heard somebody drop out, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock the session.
Eleonora, I'll go check yours right now.
This week's been a reasonably busy week, but if you've attended my past sessions, you'll know that I was functioning for 2 months without air conditioning here. And for those of you that have been following along with me, I have it now, successfully installed air conditioner, and it makes a world of difference in this house. At times it reached like 93 degrees inside the house, which was miserable. Thank you. Awesome, good to know, Teresa, thank you. All right, just a couple more minutes to make sure everybody gets into their shell. And thank you, Charles. Give it one more minute and then we're going to go ahead and move forward.
Okay, I didn't see if anybody else posted that they had an issue. Eleanor's taking care of.
Eleanor was the only one that I saw.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Teresa, however, confirms that she does have the show and it seems to be working.
Awesome.
Yep. And we're almost there, almost to 9:10, and then we're going to move forward. Hey, Scott. Hey, Glenn.
Morning.
Morning, everyone. All right, 9:10, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So as I said, this is Canvas templates, and this is what our agenda looks like today. I'm going to start off with a little introduction about about templates just as a whole, give you an overview of how they function, what the navigation flow is, and kind of how they're organized and meant to work within a course. After that, of course, we're going to dive into templates and how they work. I'll give you, now in order to properly use templates, you need to have access to design tools. So we will need to check that and make sure that we're good to go on that front. If not, there is ways that you can edit things within it, but we will get to that. Additionally, adding templates, then I'm going to spend some time going over adding templates to content. And then we'll actually get into editing content, pages, discussions, all of that good stuff. And then also we'll get into establishing links and content flow. And at the very end, we will conclude by going into modules and exactly how to use modules to organize the content that comes with templates. Pretty straightforward. So right now what I'd like to do is show you a little bit about templates. So templates develop structures to the most granular elements in your course all the way up to the course itself. So for example, a page structure, and a page is a type of content that you can build in Canvas. And the page structure will come across with something that looks like this. It's going to have a title up at the top of the page, and then it will actually give you an area. And depending on the type of page you're creating, it will give you an area for an introduction or an area for instruction. So for example, if it's an assignment, for example, it's going to give an area for instructions. However, if it's a page, it's going to give you an area for an introduction. Okay, so typically I like to use pages in my classes as a weekly overview. So basically when my students come into my class and they go to module 1, which is essentially week 1, then the first thing that they get access to is a weekly overview page that gives them a very broad 30,000-foot view of what's coming up in the week ahead. So on that page, other things would be present, such as tasks, like things that they're going to need to accomplish this week. And then at the bottom, I also include things like instructional objectives and student learning outcomes as an example. So some of those things are like, you know, and if it's an assignment, of course, the top will start off with instructions for the assignment, and then the criteria, you know, APA format, 3 to 5 pages, whatever it is, double spaced, all that sort of stuff. And then at the bottom, I'll put instructional objectives and student learning outcomes. So when you get into Canvas templates, you know, a page is going to be pretty basic, and I will get there right now. Give me 1 second. And this is what a page will look like. This is a weekly introduction page. So of course the page starts off with the title. It gives that introduction area where you can provide a very high 30,000 foot view of an overview for the week. And then of course you can go into providing things like tasks for your students. And then down below you can list your instructional objectives and student learning outcomes. All right, so that's kind of the basic structure of a page. And we're going to get more into manipulating these things and diving a little deeper into using this content here in a little bit. Now, if I come here to Canvas templates and I come back to, so we talked about the most granular element, a page, a module, a assignment or discussion. This is how they're going to appear with a few variations. Now, if we look at the overall course structure, what's going to happen is your template course is going to include modules. And of course, normally when you're building out your course in a module, you're going to have content in it, like readings, assignments, quizzes, and then you'll have another module. In this case, I'm displaying it as module 2, and you're going to have readings, assignments, and quizzes. And modules are basically a nice way to organize your content in a class and have yours and give basically a roadmap to your students so that they know where they're headed each week, right? And the one thing that templates add into the module, so module 1 could also be week 1. Module 2 could be week 2. Typically in my classes, I have 16 modules, each representing 1 week of my course. Other people use them to module by chapter. Some people use modules by unit. I prefer to do it by week because then I'm also able to keep the pace of my class as we move. But templates will actually add into your modules a weekly overview page, which is a lot like the page that I just showed you here. This is a weekly overview page where I'm giving my students an overview of what's coming in the week ahead, right? And that weekly overview page is going to be the first item that's placed in the module. And I'll show you that in the class in just a minute. But when it comes to developing the overall course structure, one thing that we want to do is develop a navigational flow so that it's easy for your students to move from getting into your class into the content that they need to get to. So what templates also provides is a home page. And on that home page, it's going to provide you with links that are things like get started, and it's going to give them a link to, you know, click that gets them started right in the class into an online orientation so that they get briefed right at the start of the class about how to behave in your online class, what's expected of them, all of that good stuff. All right. Now, the other thing it'll give them is an access to student resource links. They click on that, it's going to take them to a page that gives them, you know, information about all the resources that are available to them as a student. Some of the same information you're going to put in your syllabus. And then, of course, it's also going to give them access to a contact your professor page. And that will include things like, you know, your email address, how quickly you will respond to them in email. That's where you can put things like, you know, when you send me an email, I will respond within 24 hours, all of that information. And of course, it'll also be a static page where you can include your office hour information and all that. You can even provide, you know, your Zoom link into your office hours. Now, one thing that the home page is going to provide that will help with your students navigating through your course is it's going to provide a couple buttons or several, and it's actually going to provide 16, one representing each module, representing each week of your course. So in this little graphic, what it has is it has week 1 and week 2. Now, if your students click on the week 1 button on the home page, it's going to take them to the weekly overview in week 1 in the module, right? So it gets them right into the module to that 30,000 foot view of what's coming up in the week ahead. Likewise, when they get back into your course, if they go back to the course homepage and they click week 2 would take them directly to the weekly overview page in week 2. And that's how it's programmed to work throughout all 16 weeks, right? So it doesn't just take them to the module where they see the whole module, it takes them to the weekly overview page, which is nested in the module. And this is how that looks. So if I come back here into my Canvas template Shell Jones and I come here to the home page, and just, you know, Canvas template Shell Jones, that's kind of like the less cool Indiana Jones, you know, just to let you know. But so when you come here to the home screen, this is what that home page looks like. And it's a static home page. It's not going to change. But the home page, of course, gives you some direction about providing your course title here, putting the CRN of your course here. And then here are those buttons that I talked about. So if a student were to come in here and click Start Here, it's going to take them right to the online orientation module, which we've actually already brought into this course for you. And that online orientation walks them through tips to being a successful student online. It walks them through a technological know-how section, which briefs them on, how to do things in Canvas. And at the very bottom, it also provides a Netiquette agreement, which is basically an agreement that they have to download, sign, resubmit. And that's a behavior agreement between you and your student of how they agree to behave in your online class. Things like, if a discussion thread starts to get heated or even personal, it's the responsibility of your class community to come in there and redirect the focus of that discussion back on topic rather than just getting personal and getting heated, and also, to report it to you so that you're aware of what's happening. So that's how the getting started works. Now, if I come back to the home page and I click syllabus, it's going to take them straight to the syllabus page of the class, right? And what you have here is we've also provided a little universal accessible syllabus for you. Now, if you're like me, and when you develop your syllabus, you like to put tables in it, right? Because a table is a really nice way to break down your course by week and include columns for things like assignments, readings, all of that on print. So when you create an accessible syllabus, which is a template we've provided right here for you to download it and manipulate, you'll notice that tables are not part of it. That's because tables are largely considered not to be accessible. So it's all spelled out like this, but this is here for you to use, right? That's why we put it in here. Pam, do you have any other comment you'd like to make about the syllabus or anything like that, the accessible syllabus?
No, I think that you've covered it.
Okay, thank you. So that's the course syllabus page. If we come back to the home page, what you're going to also have is a contact page, as I already mentioned. You click the contact page, it's going to take your students to the contact page. And this is where you can input information like about your email, your office hours, and if you happen to have a phone, something that they can actually call you at, right? I'm not saying you have to put that, you can delete this section, but we'll get into that, all right? Also on the home page, you have a resources link. And the resources link, when your students click it, will take them to this. It'll provide a section for technology help and student services, right? And embedded within this are links that take them to those respective areas. And Tracy, Pam, and I have worked hard to build out this whole course for you guys. Pam, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say your resource page is going to look a little different than Matt's because there are a few things I didn't like on this, so I made changes. So just be aware, Matt has the old version, you guys have the new version in your shell.
Good to know. Thanks, Pam.
Yep.
Now back on the home page, what you will also have is a section right here where you can actually update the content of this page right here. You can actually give a little overview about the class as a whole. If you wanted to, every week you could come in here and edit this text and you could update the text to give a little introduction to that week. But this page, again, is meant to be a static page. It's the first page your students are going to see when they come into your class, but we give you that space to do that. It's really meant to be a space where you explain what the course is about. Now, when you scroll down the page, what you're going to see is these buttons that take you to all 16 weeks. I put week 18 because in a previous training, I was trying to show a point. But here, if let's say the student wanted to come to week 10, they would simply click week 10, and it's actually going to take them to the week 10 introduction page that's housed within the week 10 module. So let me show you what that module looks like. There's week 10, and this is what the module looks like. So you can see this week 10 introduction page is already housed within the module. Okay, so you can continue to build out the content in the module, right? But this is what we've started you with, is links that take you to each introduction page or overview page within each module. Is this all making sense so far? Any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself or type it in the chat and ask us.
I just want to say, Nikki pointed out that we have left off a few student services resources that I will add in and send it to anybody who wants it.
Cool. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Pam.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's no other questions about this, let's go ahead and actually get into some things. So let me come here and I'm going to go to the home page and I'm going to come back to the presentation. One thing I wanted to show you also is that modules tend to have a simple sort of structure to them as well. The module starts with a title, and then you'll have a title header and a content of some sort. And then you're gonna have title header 2, another type of content, title header 3, content, title header 4, content. So this is actually what the module breakdown would be like, right? So you're gonna have like maybe your module topic and title, which would be week 5 feminism, for example. And then you give your week 5 introduction. And then you might have a section in your module devoted to PowerPoint, which in this case would be the feminism PowerPoint. And then you might have your readings, which would be a series of articles. Then you also have assignments, which would be, you know, the essay or whatever you are assigning. And that's kind of the structure of the module. So when you come in, you'll notice that the modules in your shell do not have that structure entirely built out. In my class, I've built out one module to sort of show what that would look like. But because it's your course, you have the ability to get in there and build out the module based on the content that you have. I just strongly recommend that you break up your module by using these weekly introduction headers. They're actually not clickable. You can't do anything with them. But what they help do is organize the content that's housed within the module. All right, so you can see you have your introduction, PowerPoint, assignment, so on and so forth. Any questions? All right. So here we go. Everybody go ahead and take a moment. I'm gonna give you until about 9:28. That's about 5 minutes. Go into your Canvas template shell with your last name and go ahead and just explore it. Click on the links from the home page, make sure they link off, go to modules, look at assignments, just explore the course real quick. And in 5 minutes, we'll get back into actually manipulating content and looking at all of that. And then when we first come back, I'll also start with a cautionary note about using templates. All right, so go ahead, I'll give you until about 9:28. If in the meantime you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself or post them in the chat and Pam and I will work to answer them.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, what's up, Glenn?
Hey, when I click on Start Here,
Yeah.
mine says resources at the top, and then Start Here, and it doesn't have the online etiquette points that I saw on your page.
Would you mind sharing your screen with me real quick so I can
Hey,
look at
actually,
it?
I can answer this.
Okay.
The old version had a Start Here page, Matt, and when you did your first Canvas template workshop, you changed yours, but that didn't change everybody else's.
Right. Okay. So then what we can show you is, Glenn, if you want to share your screen, I'll show you how to link that.
Okay.
And for those of you that are currently tinkering around in your own, don't worry, we're going to cover this later as well. All right, so let's go to the home page real quick, Glenn, of your course.
Okay.
Okay, now click Edit. Sort of partially down the page, yeah, there on the right. We'll give it a second to load. Sometimes it takes a little time. I've been having a lot of problems with my internet recently. I think we're going to switch companies here. Get one with a higher download speed.
Who do you have right now?
We're with AT&T right now, but we did have Spectrum, and then AT&T was offering deals, so we switched to AT&T, and I haven't been real happy with it since.
Yeah, I have AT&T. It seems pretty flaky.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Glenn, so while we wait for this to load, let's go ahead and scroll down the content page right here on this page. A little content window, yeah. Okay, so I don't know why the the design tools isn't being applied yet. But what you want to do is go ahead and scroll up to where you see the Start Here blue link right there underneath the image. Go ahead and highlight it. Okay. Now if you go over, you see your Canvas right-hand menu where you have all those gray boxes that say pages, assignments, quizzes, so on and so forth. Go ahead and expand the modules, the one that says modules. And you see the blue link that's titled Online Orientation?
Yeah.
Go ahead and click that. So now if you click Save on your page,
okay.
Now if you click Start Here, it's going to take you to that Online Orientation module. There. And that's where all of that is housed.
Okay.
So Matt, I just wanted to point out, Raquel mentioned that right now week 8 is linking back to week 1. So
Okay.
you would do that the same way. And Matt, I don't know if you want to go through that, but what you just saw with Glenn and how he fixed that link, that's the same thing that you would do with any other links that you want to change or correct.
Yep. Yeah, and matter of fact, we'll spend some time later in this session going over creating those hyperlinks and going over all that again.
Okay.
Okay. So the thing that I wanted to move on, the thing that I wanted to move on to now is sort of go a little bit more and give you sort of a cautionary note about using the templates. So what we have provided you in your Canvas templates class is the foundation that you can then bring into your other classes. Okay, now what we do not recommend is this is a template. And we don't necessarily recommend that you start adding your content into this template. Rather, import the template into your existing courses and then manipulate your existing content into the template, okay? And that way you always have this as a resource to pull into your classes. Because if you come in here and change it, you're gonna end up messing the templates up. And then, when you import them into a class and you end up changing content over there, you're gonna end up having to rechange that template content as well. So this is something I wanted to point out. Let me come to my Canvas dashboard real quick. And what I did is I have this class right here, and you'll see that here's my Canvas template shell. And then let's just pretend that this is actually an English B1A. I've renamed it to Canvas Templates Caution for the sake of the training. So if I open this, you're gonna see that this class is very basic. The home page lands on the syllabus page with some basic links. If I come into assignments, we'll see a list of assignments, right? All these assignments. If I come into modules, this is a class from 2018 from a colleague, you'll see that modules isn't even used, right? I can come into quizzes and there's a basic syllabus quiz. No other quizzes are used in this class. And one thing I wanted to draw your attention to is this. So on my dashboard, you'll notice that the course card, and what I mean by course card is this sort of like right now on my screen, you'll see that it's kind of like a dark green, gray image. Other courses, I've already put a course image on them. So like the Hogwarts letter, the design tools logo, stuff like this, right? But right here, it doesn't have one. And there's 2 ways that you can actually bring your templates into an existing course. So let me come back in here, and that course card is going to change based on one way that you bring the courses in or the templates in. So when I'm in this class, if I scroll down to my course settings, and this is an actual class, this isn't my template shell, this is an actual class. If I scroll down to my course settings and I click on it, and then I come over to my right-hand menu right along here, and I say import course content, I can actually now select copy a Canvas course, and I can search for my Canvas template shell. Might take a moment to bring that up. And then I could actually click my Canvas template shell, say all content, and then say import, and it's gonna pull that entire, all those templates in the shell that we built into your course. Another way that you can do that is if I come to the Canvas Commons, which is over here in my global Canvas menu, if I go to Canvas Commons, I can actually search for stuff that Bakersfield College has created for use in your Canvas accounts. And you'll see that there's a ton of stuff here. There's some that are all about that the library has worked to create their workshops on plagiarism, primary sources, Google searching. You'll also see our online orientation that you're able to upload into one of your classes. That's the same orientation that we've already put in your Canvas template shell that the Start Here menu links to. Also, if you scroll down the page, you will find one that says Bakersfield College Academic Technology Canvas Templates. If you click Canvas Templates, and then you come over here and say Import Download, it's going to pop out a menu that allows you to select the course you want to import the templates into. So for example, if I come here to the, let's see, I'm looking for the Canvas Templates Caution class, right? I'm going to import it into that Caution class that I built. I'm just going to click the Canvas Template Caution. That's the class I want to import it into. I'm going to scroll down the page and I'm going to say Import into Course. It's going to give me the green banner that says you have successfully started the import right there in the center of the page. And now if I come back to my dashboard, nothing here has changed yet. It's still uploading. And I come into my Canvas Templates Caution. You'll notice that the new homepage is taken over by the templates because in importing the templates, it replaced my original homepage with the template homepage. If I come in here to assignments, I'm going to see all of the templated documents start to pop up in the different areas that I have content in Canvas. So, and you can tell that because they're going to be denoted with template in brackets. Now, when you see this content start to populate in your course, we've also created a module at the top of your modules that lists all of those templated documents right here. They say do not touch because we do not want you to get in there, edit any of the content on the templates themselves. Instead, I'm going to show you another way that you can apply a template to existing pages and assignments, right, or to blank ones. And then that will then allow you to sort of manipulate the content on those pages rather than changing the template itself. So if it has template in brackets, you do not want to touch it. That template in brackets is actually one of the codes that Design Tools uses to identify which content in your course are templates, right?
Matt, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Michelle.
I started working on a fall course last night, and I created some assignments. Nothing else is in it right now, essentially.
Okay.
If I were to import the template into the templates into that course, would it overwrite all of the assignments I've already created?
No, it does not. So let's say you have your, let's just call it week 1 assignment, right? You have your week 1 assignment built out. If you bring in the template, it's going to be added as another type of content in your class. It's not replacing or overwriting the existing one. What you would have to do is still come in, and if you wanted to use the template that's been provided, you have to open up the assignment and do a few things and then apply that template to this page. And I'm going to get into showing you how to do that. But in a direct response to your question, if this is your week 1 assignment and you import templates, it adds the templates into your course. It does not replace or overwrite existing content.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so you'll see that here's a bunch of those templates right in the modules page of your shell, and it's going to be, you know, they're all going to say template do not touch. The one that says do not touch is actually a page, so I could actually edit this and just say page update, right? So that's just a generic page, and then there's the home page. We provide a weekly introduction page as well as announcements and discussions and assignments. So you'll notice, so if I come back to the dashboard, the other thing I want to draw your attention to is that the Canvas Templates Caution, this course card is eventually going to be replaced by the Canvas Templates course image, right? And that's what happens when you import a course from the Commons into one of your courses, is it replaces your course image. It hasn't done that yet. It may be taking a while to load. So let me refresh the page real quick again. All right, so it hasn't done it yet, but when that happens, and you come into the course, where you need to go to reapply your old course image is, again, go to Course Settings. You'll see it's right here on my Course Details tab on my Course Settings. And you'll see that the course card is right here. What I would need to do, and this is my English B1A class, right? So what I would actually need to do is remove this Bakersfield College Academic Technology templates, and I can do that one of two ways. If I have an image that I want to replace it with, I just say choose image. If I want to remove the Academic Technology Canvas templates image, I just say remove image, and now it will remove that image from the course image on my dashboard as well. And then I scroll to the bottom, update course details, and it's good to go. A couple of the things that I want to point out to you about your templates is you'll notice that when you come into the sort of main content areas in Canvas, and by main content areas, I'm referring to things like announcements, discussions, quizzes, assignments, right? All of those types of, content that we typically build out in Canvas. What you want to do is, if I come in here to announcements, what you're going to see is you'll see all these other announcements that were already existing in this class, but we've also provided what we title announcement or template type models. So here's an announcement model, and this is what will come in. So it will actually give you a title bar. It'll give you a space to actually type in your announcement, and then it gives you buttons that will link to your syllabus and modules, and we'll come back to link those links in a little bit. Right, so when your student gets an announcement, they're able to click syllabus, go to your syllabus page. Click modules, go to your module page right from the announcement. Additionally, if we come into places like assignments, we've also provided you, now you notice the template's right there too, but we've also provided you with an assignment model. So if I click on that and it pops up, here's what the assignment model looks like, right? So instead of having the 30,000-foot view like on the weekly introduction page, it gives you an area to input instructions, the criteria, and then of course, instructional objectives and student learning outcomes. If you come into discussions, we've also provided you model discussions. Let me see, where is that one? Discussion model right here. So if you click that, you're gonna have the template applied to a basic discussion page, right? And that's where all that is. If I come down here to quizzes, we've also provided some models in your quizzes. So we provided them listed as final exam and midterm. If you come in here to final exam, you can see the template's also been attached there as well. All right, how's everybody doing? Any questions at this point?
I have another question.
Awesome, go for it, Michelle.
In an assignment,
This reaches your quota for today though, just so
I
you know.
realize I get to my quota very quickly in your course. My assignments include speeches. And when I'm evaluating speeches, I have been using a rubric, which I created as a Word doc.
Okay.
But now I want to use the rubric capabilities in Canvas. Do these templates provide for me to be able to do that? And where do I link from an assignment to create a rubric?
So what you do, so that's kind of more of a Canvas question that's less focused on using the templates. The rubrics lie outside of, creating or using the templates. But what you would simply do is when you're on an assignment, and I'll go over this quickly, and I'll actually provide you documentation that goes over that a little further.
Perfect.
But when you're on the assignment page, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a plus rubric button. When you click that, that's actually where you can then begin to create your rubric. But if you don't know how to create rubrics, I would say look for some of the guides and follow the step-by-step instructions that I'll provide here in a little bit. And also take one of those Canvas courses that probably goes over using rubrics, probably Tracy's Kung Fu Canvas, I believe. But Michelle, I think you already took that, didn't you?
I did, and I don't remember that being in there, but I just want to make sure I had access to create it.
Yeah.
I've done one once and I can Google some instructions or whatever.
So I just put in the chat a link that tells you how to create rubrics in an assignment.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, I too had a question.
No, you're not allowed to.
Haven't read my quota today. Not yet.
You went over your quota in the last session, so it's rollover,
Oh, it's rollover quotas. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we import the templates, I'm also assuming that it would change any assignment weightings that we already have. So it's going to override everything.
So what it will do is you'll notice that in the templates, let me get actually back to the template course. So if I come to assignments in the template class, you're going to see that it comes with these sort of these assignment groups, right? So now it's going to put some things in these assignment groups, and you just need to make sure that they're not published, right? Just use them as a model. But I would look to see if it does change the weight of your assignment groups. And if it does, could you actually let me know so that I know and I can inform people in these future trainings about it? Cool, thanks, Iman. Yeah, but good question. All right, any other questions at this point? Okay, so what I'd like you to do now actually is go into your Canvas template shell, and let's go to and just when you're in your Canvas template shell, go ahead and click Pages. And of course, when you click Pages, it's probably going to show you the home page that's currently selected. Then click View All Pages, and just get to the point where you can click plus page to create a blank page. I'll give you until 9:45 to do that. If you finish before that, hop back into the chat, say you're done and you're ready to move forward. Thank you, Michael.
Friends.
How are you doing, Pam?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Looks like everybody's good.
Yep.
Everybody's quiet today.
Yeah, it's a very quiet morning.
So did Michelle beat Marceline?
I think Michelle did, unless Marceline.
Or is Marceline just not talking to us today?
Yeah, she may not be talking.
Marceline is multitasking, so she is listening, but she's in a car.
Oh,
So she's
well,
doing
that could be
cell phone-
why.
Yeah, she wanted to make sure to hear everything and wanted to stay in touch. So I'm kind of her ombudsman to help her with anything, but she's on her phone, so she doesn't have full capability. So I'm taking copious notes so we can go over it together.
She just said it's not a fair competition today, but I just say, Michelle, you claim that you're the victor every time.
You snooze, you lose is where I'm coming from.
There you go.
Yeah, the other, for those of you that are just joining us in this session today, we had a workshop the other day where Michelle and her daughter Marceline were competing, to finish and type in the chat done first. It was a lot of fun.
Marceline wants it to be a team win.
Oh, well,
Oh,
okay,
nice.
I'm kicking you out of the session, Marceline.
Really nice reframing. My daughter is a smart cookie.
Yeah.
I'm just going to answer a couple of questions that I got real quick. Mandolin, yes, go to Pages in your Canvas template shell. For everybody, there is already a link to a recorded version of this. So if you get lost or if something is confusing or you have to leave early, just know it's up on our online teaching resources. So if you don't know where that is, maybe we'll share that at the end.
Yeah, just maybe. If
Maybe.
you behave yourselves.
If somebody reminds me, because I say things like that and then like 10 other things happen and I forgot I said it. That's just who I am. I'm sorry.
I feel your pain, Pam.
Yeah. I get busy doing other things and I forgot what I said.
All right, so once you get into actually having this blank.
Hey, Matt, can I stop
Yeah.
you? Can you
Yeah.
show how to get to the pages again one more time?
Sure.
There's a couple people who need to see that.
Sure. So what I'm going to do is once I'm in my Canvas template shell Jones, I'm going to scroll down in my course menu and go to Pages. Now, once I get to Pages, you're going to likely what you're going to see is the home page that pops up. And what I want to do is view all pages. So I'm going to click this blue button in sort of the top left corner, view all pages. And then from there, it's going to provide me a page with a list of all the pages that are currently in this shell. So what I actually want to do is come over here to the blue button at the top right, and I'm going to click that blue button that says plus page. And now I have a blank page pulled up and I'm ready to work. And I'm
Okay, I
going
think we're good to go.
Okay. So I'm going to refresh my page real quick, because what I'm looking for when I add this page is I'm looking for my design tools bar. There it is. Before it wasn't popping up, but you'll see it's a little rocket ship and sort of a black bar that pops up from the top right. Could everybody check to see if they have it? I was having some problems with the JavaScript last night, and I want to see if somebody does not have it. Okay, Michael doesn't have it.
Nikki doesn't have it.
Okay.
Oh, a lot of people don't
Wow,
have
a lot
it.
of people don't have it. Okay. Nikki's rocket list.
That's so sad, Nikki.
Okay, let me see who doesn't have it. So we have, so we started off with Michael.
Do you want me to read them off?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so Michael, Nikki, tell me if I'm going too fast.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Grace,
Okay,
Raquel,
okay,
Pearl,
okay,
Joel,
okay,
Eleonora,
okay.
Teresa,
Teresa, okay,
Joe,
okay.
and then Glenn.
Okay, so quite a few.
Yeah.
What is Pearl's last name?
Urena,
Joe does
U-R-E-N-A.
have it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And Glenn, you don't have it? You've taken design tools before, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking over some things.
Okay. Everybody
Okay.
talk amongst yourselves.
So for those of you that don't have it, you can still follow along and edit some stuff in templates, and immediately following this session, I will work to get you design tools access. The reason that I can't just grant it really quickly right now is I actually have to go into your user accounts in Canvas one by one and pull out a unique identifier code that is not your, it's not your ad ID. It's just a unique identifier that you're given in when you come into Canvas. And I have to take that code and then hard code it into JavaScript. And for some reason last night when I was importing the theme, which is where I add that hard coded JavaScript into Canvas, it said that it was accepted, but when I checked a couple, it was having problems and I wasn't sure. And so I re-uploaded it a couple times, but it was still giving me some issues. So I wasn't sure who was gonna end up having access and who wasn't. So what I would recommend doing is follow along right now, take some notes. It's just a couple of steps, and then we'll move on from there. And maybe while people work, I might be able to start getting some of you access, but know for sure after this session, I will give you that access. And that's the best I can do right now. And I apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, so when you have the blank page pulled up and you have access to design tools, what you want to do is actually just click on the rocket ship and expand the design tools menu. Once the design tools menu expands, you're just going to come to one area, and that is the create edit content area. And I'm just going to expand that. So I expand design tools. I'm going to do that again. For those of you taking notes, I'm going to expand design tools by clicking the black or the white rocket ship and the black bar up at the top. And remember, in order to access the design tools, you need to be on the edit function of a page. Like you need to be in this space, whether it's an assignment, a discussion, an announcement, where you're actually going to type the title and content of it. If you're just on the home page, or if you're just looking at a page, it's not going to be there. You need to be in the edit function of the page. So when you open design tools and you click copy existing content, right? So create edit content, copy existing content, you're going to see that there comes this line item right here called template pages. And then what you want to do is go ahead and select from the dropdown the type of page you want to create. So for example, here, let's say I want to make a weekly overview page. I'm going to find the template that is weekly introduction, and I'm just going to click it. As soon as I click that page, it's going to go ahead and apply that template to the page, right? So this is a blank page. I did not have existing content on it. It's just applying my template to this existing or to this blank page that I'm creating. And this is what that looks like. So the template is immediately applied. So for those of you that have access to design tools, go ahead and take a moment, and on this blank page you have pulled up, go ahead and apply the template from design tools onto the page. And I'll give you a minute. If you have questions, feel free to unmute or type it into the chat and ask. And as soon as you finish that, go ahead and click or come back into the chat, say you're done and ready to move forward. We'll move forward at 9:55, so I'll give just a couple minutes. Except for Jimena, we're going to move forward at 9:53. Oh, darn, she's done already. Dag nabbit.
Don't start.
I can't help myself, Michelle.
We've always known this about you, Matt.
Yeah, when I try to contain good behavior inside, like when I try to give that, facade of good behavior, it just kind of makes me start twitching, and it makes me very, uncomfortable.
It's not a good look on you. Don't bother to try.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Savannah and I were talking the other day, and she's like, Matt, why is it that at least once every day you get in trouble? And I'm like, because it just doesn't feel like a complete day unless I've gotten in trouble at least once. And I still have a couple more minutes to go ahead and apply the template to your page. For those of you that are unable to use design tools right now, please just take notes of a step-by-step instruction, and then I will work to give you design tools immediately following this. So just know that for those of you that are taking notes, from the top part of your page in the top right, you're going to have that rocket ship that when you mouse over it, it expands. And then when you move, it contracts, right? So click on your rocket ship once you get design tools, and then it's gonna look like this. You're gonna have a bunch of boxes up here. You're gonna have a big blue button that says add content, but where you wanna go is this menu right here, item called create edit content. If you click that, it's going to expand it. And then you're gonna go into copy existing content. And then you're gonna find the area that says template pages. From here, you can click the drop down and navigate to the type of page that you want. In this case, I wanted to create a weekly introduction, so I just clicked the template for weekly introduction, and it applied that weekly introduction template onto the blank page that I was creating. So I'll leave that up for those of you taking notes in case you want to see it. And we still have another minute for those of you that are adding the template to the blank page.
Hey, Matt, I'll just throw this out here because having done the design tools, for anybody who hasn't done it, it's really good to go watch the recording on it because it'll help with this.
And all you're telling me, Jimenez, I need to make my recordings more confusing, so that way it's a little more challenging,
The design tools recording is up on our online teaching resources page as well.
Woo!
While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go get that link and paste it for anybody who wants it.
Well, thank you, Pam. All right, it's 9:55, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So a couple of things. The reason that we use design tools to place these templates on the page is because what it does is when I close design tools, right? Earlier I was telling you about, let me just save this real quick, and I'm just going to call it fake page in all caps. I'll come back to this in a second. If I were to come into any of those areas of my Canvas, course where I have the documents that say template and then do not touch. So let's say I opened up template on my weekly introduction here and I clicked edit. You'll see, so as soon as I was in the edit function, that's when design tools popped up. So let me click cancel. I'm just on the page right now. I have to click edit. Once I click edit, then design tools pops up. For those of you that do not have access to design tools yet, obviously that will not be happening for you yet. But what you'll see is on this page, if I were to come in here, because this is actually the one with the template in brackets, and I were to change anything, I'm actually changing the template itself, right? So if I was in here manipulating this, I'm changing the template. The difference is that when I come to another page, let me find my fake page. Okay, when I come here to my fake page, and I click edit. And when I use design tools to apply the template to this page, I'm just creating a duplicate of that template on this page. So now I can actually get in here and manipulate the content and everything that it says right in here without actually changing my template. That's why I want to apply the template from design tools onto a page rather than editing the templated page that's in my class itself. Right, so I could come in here and I could actually now, for this weekly introduction, I could highlight this text, and even if you don't have design tools, you should be able to highlight the text and delete it. Just be careful. If you delete too far, it's going to go into your header, and then you need to click enter to get back into text. So what I mean by that is, check this out. If I come here to list here, and let's say I just happen to delete too far back. As soon as I delete too far back, it's going to jump up, and I might accidentally start deleting my task menu bar in on the page. So I'd have to come back here, type out tasks, and then hit enter on my keyboard in order to drop back down to get into the text where now I can type, you know, these are your tasks for this week. Right, so now I can actually get in here and enter content. This will be the weekly overview. You know, welcome to week 1 of this course, and I can actually start typing in content here. You know, this course is all about how to torment Pam Rivers when you work on campus.
Awesome.
With
I've
her.
always wanted to take that class.
Yeah, so I actually don't.
Matt's good at it. Yeah.
I don't put it on the upcoming workshop. You have to email me and I'll invite you into the class.
Mm.
But it's
Cool.
actually,
So,
we do a lot of hands-on learning experience. So it includes sending Pam emails, calling her at inappropriate hours of the day. And then when we're on campus, it has to do with like stuff you leave in her office or the times at which you drop by or knock or open her door. It's a, yeah, you can absolutely, you know, it's a big class. So yeah, feel free to hop in there. Okay. So here we have, so I've gone ahead and started editing the content of the template that I've applied to this page. Right now, if you're somebody that does not have design tools, let me also go over this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that fake page that I was creating for right now. And
Hey, Matt, can I stop for just a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Chu had a question. She said, how can I type special letters, written accent, etc. within rich content?
Ooh, that is a good question. Do you know the answer to that, Pam?
I don't, actually.
So that may actually be a computer settings where you have to add a keyboard in your computer settings, Chu, so that way you can apply, you know, those characters into your text.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's not actually specifically with the rich content editor. It's more with your computer settings.
Would you say that answer one more time? I want to get that in my notes.
Sure. Let me rewind. Okay, here we go. So if you want to apply like accents and different symbols and things like that when you're typing in your rich content editor, it's actually a preference setting that you need to set up on your computer. And what you would do is go to your computer preferences and look for something called keyboard. And then there's probably, you need to add a type of keyboard. So like, for example, one keyboard that I typically add to most of my devices is the Armenian language. And I add that, so then I actually get the option to choose what type of language I want to use, okay? And somebody just dropped out, so I'm gonna unlock the session, giving them a chance to hop back in.
Somebody actually left and isn't coming back, just so you know.
Oh, good to know, okay. So I don't need to unlock it. Okay, so that's how that works. If you guys that are curious about that, we could explore it after the session is done if you want to figure that out. But for right now, we'll just stick with templates. So another option that you have, which isn't the way that we recommend it, but I just want to show you that you have this ability. If you come to a page, and let's say that I actually just want to duplicate the weekly introduction page, and for some reason Design Tools isn't working for me, or something's not happening, I could actually come to the template, come over here to the 3 dots, and say duplicate. Now I have 2 copies of this weekly introduction, and the copy actually will automatically be given copy at the back of the title, right? Now I can actually come over here to the 3 dots on my copy of that template page, click the 3 dots, click edit, and then I could actually delete template off of it. I could delete do not touch and copy off of it. So I'm just gonna call this weekly introduction 18. I'm gonna save that. And now I actually have a page with the template already applied to it that I can get in there and manipulate, and I'm not interfering with the template. But of course I have to create a duplicate of the template page, delete the template out of the title, and then I have that page. So that's another thing that you have, you know, the ability to do.
Are you recommending, Matt, that we create for a course that we're going to teach regularly and have lots of sections of, that we create individual templates for each week so that they just exist and you have less to do each
Yep.
semester?
That
Okay.
is what I would recommend, yeah. That's pretty much what I do in my class. And then once I get one class established, it's really easy for me to then, at the end of the semester, just import it to my next class. And then I have it built already. And then I just have to go and make a few tweaks. But I do recommend that on the templates, like here, when I put weekly, you know, if this is the weekly introduction and it's like the weekly topic goes here, I do not put the dates of the week here, right? Because then I have to go in there and every semester change the title if I put the dates here somewhere in the title, and it's a pain, right? So I just leave it very generic, week 1, and I give the topic. Occasionally I may change the topic, but you know, at least it's got that standard format. Oh, and that's good to know, Joel. Okay, so let me come back here. So you'll notice that when I was actually in this page, let me click this page, and when I was applying design tools and applying the template to this page, when I have design tools open, give it a second to open. When I'm here in the create, edit content, existing content, and I'm in the template pages, you'll notice that when I click down, the only type of template that I can apply to a page are page templates. There's no assignment templates in here. There's no discussion templates. That's because they need to be used in their respective content types. So you'll see all of these are pages, right? These are page templates that I can use because I'm creating a page. If I were to now go into an assignment, for example, I'm going to cancel out of that page. And if I were to go into an assignment, for example, and I click plus assignment. So for those of you that want to follow along, go ahead and go to your assignment course menu link. I'll do it again. Go to assignments. Once you're on assignments, you should see the big blue plus assignment in the top right-hand corner. If you click plus assignment, it's going to go ahead and pull up the blank assignment, and you'll see design tools pop up again. And some of you, as you're pulling up this page, you may be wondering, well, what about pages that I have existing content on? How do I apply templates to that? Right now, I'm just showing you blank stuff. In a moment, I will get into showing you what to do with existing content, okay? Okay, so now I have this assignment, this blank assignment pulled up, and just like the page, I'm going to expand design tools. And when I come in here to create, edit content, what you're going to see is I come back here just like I did on the page to copy existing content. But now I'm going to see something that says template assignment descriptions. If I expand this, you'll now see I have my assignment template right there. I'm just going to click that. And just like when we added the page template, that will now add the assignment template to this blank assignment setting right here. And we'll give it a second. It seems to be taking a little bit. And there it goes. So now, just like the page, I could close design tools and come in here, and I could actually start, you know, editing the content on this document right here. And I could just come in here, you know, this is the assignment for yada, 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 right? So now I can actually get in here and start editing the content. And again, I am not changing my template. I have applied the template to my assignment, and I'm changing the content on the assignment itself.
Hey, Matt, question. Yeah. I'm working to beat my quota today.
You're fine.
So when you do this with your templates, do you have all the SLOs for your course listed on the template, and you just delete the ones that don't apply for that assignment?
Yep, that's exactly what I do. So what Jimen is asking is, let me go ahead. So now I have this fake assignment. I'm just going to call it fake assignment so that I know which one I need to delete later. So I've applied the template to the assignment, and I'm going to say save. So let's say here, I'm going to go back to pages real quick. Let's say that on my pages, on that weekly introduction template, if you're going to change anything on the template itself, the only thing that I would recommend that you do is add the SLOs to your template homepage, or sorry, to your template weekly introduction page. So I would click that, the template version, it's the one with the title template in the brackets. I would say edit, and then I would actually just come down here in my template, type out my SLOs, and then my SLOs are going to be present on the template. And then when I apply them to the weekly introduction, I can delete the SLOs that do not apply to that specific week, because on a weekly overview, you only want to apply the SLOs that are pertinent to that week, right? You don't want to supply all of them. You just want to apply the ones that are pertinent to that week. So if on your template, you have all of your SLOs, When you apply the template to a weekly introduction page, it's really simple to go in there and then just delete the one that doesn't apply to that week. Does that answer your question, Jimena? Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. Now, I told you that when you're creating an assignment, you get access to assignment templates. When you create a page, you get access to page templates. The only place that is different is with discussions and announcements. So watch, if I come to announcements and I want to apply an announcement template, if I click plus announcement, so again, I went to announcements in my course. Let me leave this page. I go to announcements in my course. I then go to the big blue plus announcement button and I click that. And it brings up this blank announcement, and it's the same sort of setup that we've seen now with pages and assignments. I open up Design Tools. Well, I open up Design Tools, and then Design Tools takes its sweet time to open up. Right, so now Design Tools pops up, and I come back down here to create edit content again, copy existing content. And now if I come back here to template discussion descriptions, and I click that drop down, you're gonna see I have two template types, discussions and announcements. That's because when we used Design Tools to build templates, the same type of template that's available for discussion is the same one that announcement uses, right? It uses the exact same format. So that's why in here you will see both. But obviously for an announcement, we titled it announcement. So you just click announcement, and that will now apply the announcement template to the announcement. And there you go. Every time I say, there you go, I think about my big fat Greek wedding where the dad's always, you know, and there you go, after he relates some like a word back to Greek, you know. So that's what that looks like. That's how announcements are used. And it comes with, you know, the place to put in the text, the number of announcements. So one thing I like to do is give my announcements numbers and specific titles. So, you know, I would say like, I'd come into the template here, and next to the word, or next to NO and past the period, I would put announcement number 1. And then I always give my announcements very specific titles. So this would be, you know, introduction week, you know, assignment or whatever it is. That way, as I import content from one class to the next semester, I can look through the announcements and it's specific and I know, oh, these are the ones I want to keep. These are the ones I don't need, all that sort of stuff. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and take about, 5 minutes. I'll give you until 10:15. Go ahead and go into one of those other types of content, whether it's assignment, discussions, quiz, and open up, if you have Design Tools, go ahead and open up Design Tools, and you can apply a template to a blank assignment or discussion. In a little bit, we'll go into editing content that's currently existing in a course. But for now, go ahead and apply another template to a blank assignment or a blank quiz and do it that way. If you have questions, unmute yourself and ask or type in the chat. For those of you that do not have access to Design Tools currently, what you could always do is go about and do the duplicate option. And the way that works again is, let me get out of this real quick. For those of you that do not have Design Tools, the rest of you that do, continue creating your content. I'm just going to show people that don't. If I come here to, let's say, assignments, I could actually come to my assignment list and you're going to see one called assignment model. I can come to the 3 dots and say duplicate. But I'm only duplicating the assignment model. Now I can actually open up the assignment model copy, click edit, and then I could actually come in here and tinker around with changing the content in that assignment model. So go ahead, all of you spend about the next 4 minutes kind of tinkering, and then we'll move forward. I'll give you until 10:15.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Is there like a behind the scenes reason why the copy the page and delete the template is not recommended?
Copy the page and delete the template. So when you say delete the template, you want to share your screen so I can see what you're
Oh no, what you were showing us, I'm not actually doing it right now because you said when you showed us the second way of doing it, would just copy the page, just duplicate the page and delete template out of the title. You said that you don't recommend it doing it that way. I just wanted to know if there was a reason, like a obscure reason, or what's the difference for Canvas for that?
There's a couple things. So it depends. If you're going to duplicate the template page that's in there, the one with the template in the brackets, sometimes people will forget to delete the template out of the title, and then they'll start using that in other things, and it may not be the template that they want to use. If they're duplicating an assignment, right, there's really no big issue with that. You just need to be very thorough in the content that you change and making sure that you change the title for your own recollection, right? Because if I have assignment 1 and I duplicate it and I leave it as assignment 1, then when I actually go in there to assign it to my students or put it in a module or wherever, also now I have 2 assignment 1s and I have to go back and look to see, oh, which one's the one I actually want to have here. So that's the only that's really the only cause for the recommendation. Because, I'll get emails and like, I've created like 5 assignments, and I'm like, okay, so now we need to go in and figure out which one's the actual one that you want to use. Yeah. So I'll let you guys all know that when they came to replace my HVAC unit on my roof, they brought this awesome crane, and they did not let me drive it. I was very disappointed in all that. I really wanted to, control some of that, but they just wouldn't let me do it.
It's so surprising because, if I had a heavy piece of equipment, I'd certainly allow you to drive it.
Thank you, Pam.
It doesn't seem even a little bit dangerous.
I don't sense sarcasm in that statement at all.
No.
Only you, Matt, would expect a crane driver to drive up to your house and turn over the keys.
I was like, just let me swing the little ball with the hook around for a little bit. Just let me practice, I won't go near anything important.
Yeah, thank God I don't live near you.
Were you jumping up and down as you asked it?
Yeah, I was.
And like clapping your hands together?
Yep. And then he said, I won't let you drive the crane, but I do have a lollipop if you'd like that. And I was like, shucks.
Seems exactly right.
Yep. Yeah. Can you believe the nerve of that guy?
The nerve.
Telling me no on driving the crane? Unbelievable.
I'd probably go on their company page and complain.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I made a habit of that recently with all the home warranty stuff, the problems they were giving me. So.
Yeah.
Thank you. I might take you up on that, Jimena. Yeah, so, yep. I was like, dude, I just saw you control the levers. I got it. I know this. All right, it's 10:15. Let's go ahead and move forward. Was everybody able to apply a template to some sort of blank content type, whether that was an assignment, a discussion, an announcement, a quiz? Awesome. And it looks like somebody dropped out. Did we have somebody leave, Pam, or did somebody just drop out?
This time I don't know, so I'm assuming somebody just dropped out.
So I'm going to unlock the session so they can get back in. Okay. So now let's go ahead and cover what happens when you have existing content on a page. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. And in order to sort of show you this, I'm going to go into my other That Caution course. This is not a cautionary element. I just have content in there that's I could apply to a template page. So now I'm going to come back into my existing course, right, where I have all this existing content, and I'm just going to come into assignments. And let's say I want to apply the template to an existing assignment. So here's how this goes. If I scroll down here, let me just choose a random, I'm going to come here to practice essay. And you'll see this is as I said, this is a colleague's very old course, and it's just a paragraph of text. There's no design to it. It's not chunked. It's not designed to help organize the page in a clean, graphic way. Okay, so what I want to do is on this page, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to edit the assignment settings. I want you to see something. So right now I have this content, right? And if I come in here and I open up Design Tools, as I said, I'm really quick about opening up Design Tools. Design Tools opening up to me, not so much. A lot like all of my friendships, actually, coming to think of it. Design tools, I let them in to deeper layers of the onion, and design tools just, you know, isn't that secure with me yet, I guess. So just opened up design tools. And when I come here to create edit content, and I come here to copy existing content again. Now let's say I wanted to add the template assignment, right? So I click add template assignment. We'll give it a second to apply it to the page.
Joel posted a photo in chat of what would have happened if you had driven that crane. So when you get a second, take a look.
That would be awesome, Joel. That would, yeah. Well, my wife may be a little more upset about, you know, the AC's there, yes, but the rest of the house, not so much. Okay, so you'll see that it applied the assignment to that content page. But if I scroll down, my content is no longer there, right? My content has been erased from that page. So if I accidentally happen to apply the template over my content on the page, I can just scroll down and I'm just gonna click cancel, right? I haven't saved it yet, and I click cancel, and now there's my content again. So this is what I do with my content in order to apply the template. I'm gonna click edit. There's my content again. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight my existing content, and I'm gonna, on a PC, I'm gonna right click on my mouse. On a Mac, I'm gonna control click, and then I'm just gonna cut it out of that area. Now I can open up design tools. I feel like design tools and I have spent so much time together. I'm a little offended that it doesn't open up quicker to me. All right. I'm gonna expand, create, edit content, expand, copy existing content again, and I'm gonna come down here to the assignment description, and I'm gonna apply the template now. I've already cut my content out. I'm now applying the template. My content is still, you know, present on my clipboard. And now what I do is if I scroll down to the bottom of the template, you're gonna see that I have this little banner that says End Design Tools Wrapper. Right here in this little box that pops up underneath is where I'm gonna come back in, and I'm gonna control click and paste, or right click and paste if you're on a PC. I'm gonna paste my content right under there. Now, some of you may be saying, Matt, why do you paste it to the bottom of the page? Well, there's a couple things. Oftentimes in what I wrote, it's not gonna all fit in just a single section up here. So I can actually select the content that does fit, and then I can plug it into the areas where it does go, all right? And sometimes what ends up happening is when I have this content housed at the bottom of my page, you know, I may come here and I may do this. I'm gonna highlight this first sentence, and let's say that's gonna be the introductory text. And I'm just gonna, again, control click and cut it out of there. So I cut it out from underneath, and now I can come back up here, and let me see, hopefully this will work. When I come up here and I highlight all this, I'm just gonna delete it one back, and I come back in here and I say control, give me one second, paste. And for some reason it keeps doing this. I don't know if I'm clicking in the wrong thing. Let me do that again. So I just hit Control Z, it undoes what I did. Let me just come down in here and I'll click enter. And I'm gonna paste the content in there. So it keeps giving me a little bit of problems. I'll have to look into that. Let me Control Z it again. So that goes away. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, maybe the style. There we go. Okay. So now I've just pasted that content that was the first sentence from what I had below, and I just put it in there. As you see, be cautious. Sometimes it takes a couple tries to get it. Typically, until the past 2 times that I've done this, it hasn't given me that sort of problem. Just know that if it does, if you hit on your keyboard Control Z, it will undo your most recent action, but it only steps back 1 step historically. So if I do 5 things, I'll only step back 1, right? Those other 4 will remain. So if you make a mistake, Control Z it immediately, try pasting it again. So now I have this plugged into here underneath criteria, but now something might happen, like maybe it's, I don't know, you know, I have another meeting, or I have a call, or I have a meeting, or I have to go over to my in-laws' house or something. Then what I can do is I can save the page, and I have some of the content added in. The rest of the content is still underneath design tools. And then when I'm next available, I can come back to this, edit it, and then start plugging that content in, and it's already present within that assignment or page or whatever it is that you plugged it into. But that's how it works when you're trying to add content into a design tools page that's already existing. So everybody that has design tools, for a moment, go ahead, and if you have content page that you have stuff existing, you can try adding it. Or, you could find text online somewhere and just work on copy and pasting it into your template page. So go ahead, I'll give you about just a couple minutes. I know not everybody wants to do this, so I'm gonna give it till about 10:25 and then we'll move forward.
Matt, I'm gonna step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. With Pam absent, if you have questions, you now have to come to me. I will let you know that one time I was at this place and they had those like hydraulic lifts that allowed them to get to like the ceilings and replace like really high lights and stuff. And I worked with these guys for I talked with them for like 2 weeks, developed a very nice social rapport. And at the end of the 2 weeks, they let me operate it and get in it. It was pretty cool. One of the best moments of my life. Oddly enough, when I was a kid and my dad wanted to do stuff around the property and he's like, Matt, you can do this. I was like, nah. Just another couple minutes. Thank you. Got a private chat. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Jimena. If my dad would have said, Matt, let's go mow the lawn. And I'm like, Dad, if you would have given me a crane, I would have been on that lawn like that. I may not have mowed the lawn, but I would have been on the crane on the lawn instantaneously.
Wait, no. You'll be mowing the house instead of the lawn.
Yeah, exactly. Dad, you said you wanted to tear that down. Oh, you didn't mean right now? Oh, well, you should have been more clear, Just another minute and then we'll move on. For those of you that are done and just kind of waiting, if you want to type in the chat, give me a sense of how you're doing with all of this. If it's overwhelming or if you're doing all right, I would appreciate it. And also, do you just understand like the navigation flow of the course? Does that make sense? So I would appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And if you are having an issue and it's something you don't want to express, to everybody in the chat, feel free to message me privately in the chat. Oh, good to hear. Thanks, Teresa. Yeah, Raquel, I'm so sorry that you don't have the design tools yet. I'll make sure to get that in right after. Yep. So Nikki, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Scott. Yeah, so I'm getting a question that, are you allowed to change the image on the home page? You are. That is a design tools function. So those of you that are interested in doing that, at the end of this session, I would be happy to show you how to do that, but I would highly recommend also taking design tools where we will cover all of that. Yeah, Teresa, I agree. It'll be much clearer as soon as you get the design tools. Pam, when is the next design tools workshop? Do you know?
We have 2 in Flex Week. We might have another one before that, but for sure there's 2 during Flex Week.
Pam, did you schedule that last class that's needed for the online teaching?
For sure we have one during Flex Week, and then I'll talk with Matt about doing one before.
Which class is it?
Canvas accessibility.
Oh yeah, I got a question about that yesterday too.
Yeah, we've had a lot, and it's because it was going to be me, and then we're switching it back to you. And so it'll be August. And like I said, for sure during Flex Week and probably one before that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed the announcement.
No, you haven't.
It's the only class I need to finish off the thing, and I want to get it done.
I believe the Flex Week one is available right now to sign up for.
Okay,
But the ones we're doing early August are not up yet.
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're just a couple minutes now past 10:25, so let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, so since everybody kind of has a general sense of applying the templates and using those, the next thing I want to show you is just, again, going over links and how to change the links to things in the templates, right? So I'm going to go ahead and come back to my home page. And once I'm on my home page, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. And Michelle, just to let you know, as soon as we get the Canvas accessibility course set up, I'm going to email it to everybody but you, so that everybody else can finish that badge. I may even send it to Marceline. Yeah.
Don't be that mean guy. Don't be him.
Okay, I'm sorry, Michelle.
Hey, Matt, can I ask you a question real quick before you go on?
Maybe.
This is from Charles. He said, when I upload a PowerPoint into Canvas and the student view, it downloads if they click on it. How do I change that?
So you can do it several ways. Charles, I would like to look at that, because if you upload it into like the modules, it's just going to be a link that then when they click on it, it's going to take them to another page where they have the blue link and then a little like page with a magnifying glass on it. If they click the page with the magnifying glass, they can view it. If they click on the blue link, it's going to download it. What I would recommend doing is putting the PowerPoint, probably nesting it on a page, and we can go over that at another point.
Yeah, copy that. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So on this home page here, I have all these links, okay? If I want to change the link, I'm going to use this Canvas menu just like we did, just like I was showing Glenn before, for those of you that were paying attention, just to refer back to that. But if it's not on the, but what I want to do is this. So let's say that for some reason this Start Here menu does not click and take me to online orientation, right? What I can do is, it's really simple. I'm just going to highlight the words here in the button. I'm just going to highlight them. And then I'm going to come over here to my modules. This is a Canvas sidebar here that comes with every Canvas course. Sometimes it may be below, but usually it's on the right-hand side. And if I come here to modules and I expand modules, I can actually scroll down now and just, as long as I have this word highlighted, I can click online orientation, and it now makes that a hyperlink to the online orientation. Similarly, if I come here to syllabus, I can highlight syllabus. I can come to course navigation and click the syllabus page, and it's going to take them straight to the syllabus page. If I have more specific pages, right? Actually, I'll do it this way. Let me scroll down. So these weekly buttons here, I want to take them not to the module for week 1 or week 2, whatever. I want to take them into the weekly overview page that's already placed within the module. So what I'm going to do is I would highlight week 3, for example, in the button. I'd come back up here to pages. And now I could scroll down and find the week 3 introduction page. Click that, and that will now become a hyperlink to the week 3 introduction page. So when I save my home page now, and I come here to Start Here, it's going to take me to the online orientation. Boom, took me right there. If I come back, and I come down here to week 3, and I click week 3, it's going to take me right to the week 3 introduction page. Now you'll notice the template just comes with week 01. That's just as an example to put numbers. I would then have to come in here to the introduction page, edit, and instead of a 1, replace it with a 3. All right, any questions about creating those links? Okay, so that is modifying those links. Now, the next thing that you want to do is when you come into modules, let me actually come back to my Canvas template shell. When you come back into modules, this is where you actually, you'll see my first module where I have all of this content sort of broken down and sort of this hierarchy established, right? Where the first thing they get is the introduction, and then they actually get the introduction, then they get the PowerPoint. And then Charles, just like you, see I put this in as a link. So if they click this, this actually isn't a PowerPoint, but it's just an image that I used. You'll see that they get this blue link, and when they click it from the module, it's going to show them a preview of it, and then they can click the blue link to download. Let me go back. Right now, what we're looking at is the overall structure of the module. So you'll see that I have it broken down like this, and I'll show you how to do that. So in week 2 module, let's pretend that I am going to have another PowerPoint, an assignment, but this time I'm also going to have a quiz. So in order to do that, I'm going to come over here to the top part of the module, and I'm going to come to the plus at the very top of the module, and I'm going to click it. It's going to pull up this window for me. This is now where I can come to the dropdown, and the first type of content that I'm going to add to my module are called text headers. So I'm going to select text header, and then this is where I already have a weekly introduction text header. So what I need now is PowerPoint, assignment, and quiz. So the first one, I'll type PowerPoint. And you'll also notice that I have the ability to indent the text header. I'm not going to worry about indenting the text header right now. I'm just going to leave it as don't indent, and I'm going to add the item. There I go. Now I come back to plus, it stays on text header, and now I can just type in assignment. I'm going to give it a colon at the end, and I'm not going to indent again. Something's freezing. It's not letting me add it. That's essentially the process of adding the text headers. You come in here to the plus, text header, select it, and then you can add it, whatever that is. And for some reason, I don't know why it's not letting me add it right now. That's the first time I've ever encountered that. Once I want to add actual content into the module, I come back to the plus. Then I could come to choose the type of content that I want to add. So if it was a PowerPoint, I could simply say File, and then I could navigate through my course files to find the file that I need, and I could say, there it is, and I'm going to add the item. Or I could say New Files, and then I could actually choose File and locate it somewhere on my computer, right? We'll say this is it here. I'm going to say Open. And I'm going to indent it level 1, and when I say Add Item, it's going to go ahead and drop it at the bottom of that module. So there's that item, right? Let's see if text headers are going to work for me now. So here we go. So now I could come in here and say assignment. I'm not going to indent that. Add item. So you'll see all of my text headers are going to be flush left. The content I put under them, indent level 1 in, so that way I create this visual hierarchy within my module. Then I come back in here and select assignment. I find the assignment that I want. We'll just pull in the fake assignment that I built earlier. I'm going to indent it level 1. Add item, and boom, there it is. One more. I'm going to add a text header for quiz. Not going to indent the text header. Add that, come back up to the plus, choose quiz, and now I will find the quiz that I want to add. So I will add things like, I'll create a new quiz, for example. This is going to be week 2 quiz. I'm going to indent it level 1. I'm going to say add item. And now I have my module broken out. So when the student clicks on the home page, it's going to take them right to introduction week, or the week introduction for week 2. Then they can actually just click next to keep scrolling through the content. This would be the PowerPoint. They click next again. They could get to the assignment. They finish the assignment and upload it, click next again, takes them right to the quiz. So that's why it's nice to break up into the modules like that. Any questions?
Nothing in the chat.
Awesome. Okay. So since we have no questions, what I'd like to do is I'm going to paste in the chat an actually a link to the workshop, feedback form. And what I'd like you to do is please just take a moment, give us some feedback on the workshop. This is the third time that I've conducted this workshop now. And, so give us some feedback, what you think about it. We'd appreciate it. We're trying to do that with all of our workshops. And that concludes pretty much the Canvas templates. Of course, we're here till 11. So for those of you that need to hop off, you are welcome to. But if you'd like to stay and ask some questions, look at some things, I will be around until 11 to do that. I do know that we want to look at how to, I think it was Joe that asked how to change the homepage picture using design tools. So I can show you how to do that. If you have other questions, a couple people wanted to stay on outside of Canvas, outside of our system, wanted to look at their computer to change their keyboard. I have that to do also. So, but that concludes our Canvas templates. I hope you guys put it to good use. Pam, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just in the feedback form, if there's anything that you think would be helpful to add to the template that you don't see here or something that was confusing, that'd be really helpful for us because as Matt mentioned, we just created this template and started these workshops and we're going to keep giving them. So any feedback you guys have as far as what would be useful to add or something you don't need, we would love to hear that.
So what I will do is, yeah, Teresa, so Teresa's asking if once I get those of you that were not added to design tools added, if I will let you know. I will send out an email that includes all of you saying, you now have design tools or you now have the rocket ship, blast off. And you better let me drive the rocket ship, unlike the crane driver. And thanks, Pam, for following up with all that. Okay, so while we're here, Joe, if you're paying attention, let's go ahead and let's look at changing that image using design tools. Now, this is the only design tools thing I'm going to cover. Design tools is a very robust program. It's probably one of the most complicated workshops we offer. So I would like to reserve most of design tools for the actual design tools workshop because there's a lot to it. But for now, let's go ahead and let's come to the home screen. And actually what I'll do is I'll come back into the other course so that I don't mess up my template shell. So yes, let me answer Linda's question really quick in the chat. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Great to have you here this morning. Okay, so Joe, I'm going to come in here to Canvas templates. And I'm going to, so the image that Joe wants to change is this one right here, this, BC home, admissions and records building. When you click edit on the page, and I'm doing this not in my template shell, right? I'm doing this in that other course. And I open design tools. You're so welcome, Linda. Thank you for being here. When I open design tools, I'm going to come to the same area where I did templates, except I'm just going to expand, create, edit content, and I'm going to hop over, copy existing content. I'm going to come down here to choose a banner image. When I click choose a banner image, there's going to be some images that come preset with design tools that we provided them when they were doing the install of design tools. This is where the admissions and records building comes from. There's also some ones that you could change here, like this desert and sky, right? So you can choose some of the preset images. But you'll notice below, any image files, like JPEGs, PNGs that I upload into my Canvas course, right? Those images are now going to be present as well. But I'm going to caution you. if you choose a file that has some awkward dimensions to it, or really large dimensions to it, or small ones, let's say I choose this grammar tip 2b. If I click that, you'll notice that this is a bigger square, and it's going to push everything down. So when my students are on the page, they're actually going to have to scroll to get past that image. So what I do is I recommend having images that are 1,000 pixels wide by 100 to 200 pixels deep. And what that looks like, let me go ahead and cancel this, is it's going to look a lot like all the banners that I put on in my classes. So in my English B2, I actually create animated GIFs in my class, and I put those as banners. You'll notice that this one simulates the Marauders map from the Harry Potter. It actually has footsteps that walk through it. But this is 1,000 pixels wide by 300 pixels deep. And so that's the size of image that I commonly recommend if you're creating your own. But just so you know that anytime you want to change that, you go back to Design Tools. On any page, you can add a banner. I'm going to edit it again. You go to Design Tools. Just maybe. You go to Design Tools, Create Edit Content, choose a banner image. The preset images will be provided. Any images that you've uploaded to your course folder will also be housed a little further down. And you can just click those, and those will then become your banner image. And that's how that works, Joe. Did that answer your question? Get you to what you need? Cool. Anybody else have questions with regard to Canvas templates that they'd like to ask, or something they'd like to see?
You can ask Matt to sing and dance if you want.
Matt may not do it, although
I think if enough people ask.
yeah, maybe. I will tell you this, and I can stop recording now.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and stop recording.